Richard Paleythorpe, who's the director of the museum, who's going to give us a brief overview of what we have here.
We opened to the public in 1970. The concept was very much one person, a gentleman called Roy Armstrong, and this was really part of having been a lifetime ambition. It was really Roy's retirement project, I suppose. Roy was very much a man of Sussex, and throughout his life had been interested in history and in particular the vernacular traditional buildings of the Weald and Downland. And in post-war Britain, England, as we know and might have even experienced in younger days, that in the 50s and 60s, when new towns, and Roy always highlighted Crawley New Town as being his sort of catalyst for founding the museum, where he and a small band of fellow enthusiasts would go along to record a farmhouse. Or the late 1960s, Roy heard of a gentleman called Edward James. Edward owned the Westdean estate, and he, I suppose, was of a similar age actually to Roy, and was looking to the future. Edward is a subject in his own right, an extraordinary man. I expect you might have heard of him, or if you, he was very much involved in this. Had plans for what he was going to do with his own estate, Westdean, and he was principally thinking of founding an arts and crafts college in the house, and that is very much what it is today. And when Roy approached him about, have you got a site somewhere on the estate where I could create this museum, or rather for this country anyway, novel, almost slightly sort of crazy idea, Edward immediately reacted to it and said, yes, fantastic, go and see my agent and he'll sort out a site for you. And they looked at one or two places which were not suitable, and eventually came up. This is, I suppose, where you good people come in. We have developed some very strong relationships with the livery companies. The worshipful company of Plumbers were the first, I think, livery company to get really involved here, and they helped to fund the Court Barn project when that was being rebuilt in the late 1970s, and that's where you're going to go to later. And apart from obviously the Plumbers being in there, there are exhibits from yourselves and one or two other companies. But over the years, we have built some very strong connections with the livery companies, and something we're very grateful for and would like to continue to develop.
The other thing that people are really interested in are things like the geology map that's in the corner here, because it really helps us explain about the stone and where it comes from and the ages of the stone, how it's laid down, especially, well, we tend to bring Portland when we're working here, and so it's quite useful to be able to explain about the different beds from the quarry.
It looks really well lit, actually. I didn't realise how well lit it was, but it's not great for working.
No, there's too many shadows.
Yeah, there's too many shadows.
And on the wall up here.
Could you just explain what made you want to become a mason?
Well, I actually studied history of art at university, and archaeology was my subsid. And as part of my dissertation, I wrote my dissertation on Anglo-Saxon and Viking sculpture in the northeast. So I had a theoretical interest in carving and masonry, and I worked for a number of years in a totally different field, but then started at a night class in London, and I carved one night a week for about 3 hours.
Was that in stone or wood?
In stone. And I just fell in love with working stone. It just felt like it was the right material for me. And I'm kind of fascinated by the history of the tools and the age of the stone and the geology and everything, and the craft. So I decided to go back to college and learn properly how to work stone. So I enrolled at Weymouth and got a place, and really to get my tool skills under my belt and learn the proper process, and then see where it leads to.
And are you glad you took that route and have done that now?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah. I feel much more content and much happier. I'm not sure what direction it's going to lead in, but I'm just happy to take any opportunity that comes up and really kind of see what happens.
See where it goes. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.